How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to infinite with Morrigan, and as always there's a few different ways to do it. BW Cool has a pretty nice tutorial on how to do Morrigan's mid-screen infinite, which is most similar to the typical Doom and Sentinel infinites you often see some players do. If you want to check out his video, go ahead and click anywhere on the screen for the link. I do want to mention that I'm not a big fan of this type of infinite because I can't see myself ever being able to land something like this online. And that's generally my compass when it comes to how I learn a character. If I can do something consistently online, I can master it offline, which means you probably can too. And this does mean that I will not be going over how to do Morrigan's meter stealing infinites. I can't ever see myself doing that combo online, because basically it's a combination of two different infinites, and you have to have a pretty firm grasp on them both if you want to be successful. But if you want to learn more about them, Evil Toaster of FP has a YouTube video with all the notations, so go ahead and click anywhere on screen if you want to check it out. Who knows, maybe I'll cover it further down the line. But before I get into the infinite itself, I wanted to talk a little on how and why this or any TAC infinite works, because knowing really is half the battle. So after a team aerial combo, or TAC for short, the game will save the hit stun you've obtained over the course of the combo, put a hold on it, and revert the hit stun for the remainder of the combo to 0, meaning every attack after the TAC kick, punch, or slap, or sneeze, or fire fart, or whatever the hell Morrigan does, will be treated as if it were the first hit of a brand new combo, and you'll retain that full hit stun on every attack until you reach a standing neutral position. A lot of people will tell you it's until you land, but that really isn't the entire truth, because you can land on the ground without being in a standing neutral position, and every TAC infinite is evidence to that. If we take a look at Sentinel, for example, the typical TAC infinite for him would be something to this tune. And if you look closely, the player is carefully timing each air heavy so that it connects with the opponent just as he reaches the ground. By touching the ground, Sentinel will get his double jump and flyback, but because he never truly reaches that standing neutral position, the hit stun never resets, making the infinite possible. But how does this apply to Morrigan and her TAC infinite? Well, we'll be using Shell Kick to avoid that standing neutral position, because the cool thing about Shell Kick is its built-in recovery on landing. That's right, the fact that it has recovery is actually a good thing when it comes to TAC infinites, because if you're in recovery, you're not in a standing neutral position. Oh, and that recovery, it's completely cancelable. So you can Shell Kick, land on the ground, be in recovery, cancel the recovery with Soul Fist, cancel the Soul Fist into fly, and as long as you've timed everything right, you will have completely avoided being in that standing neutral position. And all you gotta do is end each rep the same way, and you've got yourself a TAC infinite. So now that you know how it works, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. First things first, I have all three variations of TACs here, up, left, right, and down, but these are corner only variations, so make sure you get to the corner with your point character before you TAC to Morrigan. So I've got my point character here, Chris, and I'm going to do a whatever combo with him and TAC to Morrigan. After the down TAC, you'll want to immediately go into a forward air dash, and also be sure not to hold down the button. We just want the quick burst. You'll then go into an air heavy, which you want to aim so it hits slightly underneath the opponent, so that the following medium Soul Fist also hits underneath the opponent. You'll then fly cancel the Soul Fist, air dash down into another air heavy, then go into a heavy Soul Fist, which will pop the opponent up to a nice height. Now this next part can be a little tricky, but you'll then want to unfly cancel the heavy Soul Fist and immediately go into a Shell Kick. And the quicker you do this, the easier it'll make things for you. You basically want to quarter circle back and double tap the special button to do the unfly into Shell Kick. And doing this quickly will make sure you get to the ground as quickly as possible, which you definitely want. Now, whenever you reach the ground during a Shell Kick, there will be 18 frames of recovery, and it's really important that you start the following heavy Soul Fist during those 18 frames. If the Soul Fist is late, you'll go into neutral, and the hit stun will reset, which will ruin the infinite. So if opponents are popping out after this point, it's probably because you mistimed the Soul Fist. You generally want to try doing the Soul Fist as soon as you reach the ground. Again, the faster the better. But if you time everything right, you'll then want to fly cancel the heavy soul fist, and this is something that helped me a lot. You want to float forward and up. You basically have to float forward to compensate for the following air medium, medium, heavy, heavy soul fist, because each one of these will push Morrigan back a little bit. And you generally want to be as deep into the corner as possible for this infinite. But floating up as well as forward helps so that the timing on the following unfly to shell kick isn't so rough. And it's generally this part is where most of the trouble will occur. And this is going to be the point where we start the second rep. And again, shell kick will reach the ground and you'll have 18 frames to start the heavy soul fist. You'll then fly cancel the heavy soul fist and again float up and forward into air medium, medium, heavy, heavy soul fist, unfly cancel the heavy soul fist, and shell kick to the ground, and continue each rep the exact same way. Now, you can do the infinite until your opponent dies, but if you want to cut it short in favor of spending meter off the ground fly, you can do a single air medium, heavy, medium shadow blade into finishing shower. Remember, during a TAC, your moves will float higher than normal, so any more than that basic chain might float opponents too high for the finisher to connect. So that's going to be it for the down TAC, and for the next example, it's business as usual. You'll go into a combo with your point character, and this time we're going to go into an up TAC, which will start off exactly the same way by immediately going into a quick burst air dash forward. Since we're a lot higher up, there will be a significant delay, which will take some practice to get the hang of. You'll then go into an air heavy, which you actually want to aim so that it hits slightly above the opponent, and follow that up with a medium soul fist, and then fly cancel the medium soul fist. Now at this point you can technically transition into the down TAC version, but I've actually found that a bit tricky to do, so instead of air dashing down, we'll want to air dash forward and go into an air medium, insert a slight delay, then go into air heavy. The slight delay is just to ensure that Morrigan isn't too high up as she goes into her heavy soul fist. If she's too far off the ground as you go into her unfly, it'll take too long to reach the ground and possibly screw up the combo. Again, it might be a bit tricky, but slap that special button as quickly as possible after the unfly so that you land on the ground with shell kick. And at this point, everything will be exactly the same as before. You'll again have 18 frames from the point you land on the ground from shell kick to start your heavy soul fist. You'll then fly cancel the heavy soul fist, float forward and up into air medium, medium, heavy, heavy soul fist, unfly cancel the heavy soul fist, shell kick to the ground, and repeat the process as long as it takes. Again, if you're looking to cut the infinite short in favor of spending meter, the most surefire way to do this is to Darkness Illusion or level 3. You can basically do it at any point, but the easiest way to land it is probably after the ground fly from a single air medium heavy. And that's pretty much all you need to know how to do the up TAC. Now the last variant is probably the trickiest one, but it's still by no means difficult. There will be two different ways to convert off the left-right TAC, however. Again, start things off however you'd like and work your way towards the TAC. Now, a certain somebody would have you know that the easiest way to convert off the left-right TAC is to simply air dash forward underneath the character. Insert a slight delay, air heavy, medium soul fist towards the corner, fly, air dash down, air heavy, heavy soul fist, unfly, shell kick on the way down, and on and on. It is true that this is the easiest way to convert off left-right TACs, but I have found that this does not work against every character though. Some of the cast either has lumpy undersides to their hurt boxes or lower trajectory arcs off Morrigan's left-right TAC attack. The point is, dashing forward will not work against every character. So the obviously superior way to convert off 100% of the cast would be my way. So after the TAC, instead of dashing forward, we'll be dashing down. And because we're dashing down, there probably won't be any need for a delay, but you will need to cancel the upward swing of the downward air dash. So we'll be throwing out a whipping air heavy and almost immediately canceling into a medium soul fist. I say almost immediately because you want to make sure to give yourself a chance to cross under and get a decent amount of distance to the opposite side. Timing won't be as important, but spacing will, because if you fly cancel that medium soul fist and go into a downward air dash towards the corner into an air heavy,
If your spacing is off, you might accidentally cross under, so be sure not to crowd your opponent and also give them a chance to settle a bit before going into your air dashes. And this is something you'll probably have to deal with regardless of the variation you choose. After that air heavy though, it's the same old. Go into a heavy soul fist to pop the opponent up, then into unfly and shell kick on the way down as quickly as possible. Go into your standing heavy soul fist within that 18 frame window, fly, float forward and up, air medium, heavy soul fist, unfly, shell kick on the way down, then just rinse and repeat. If you're looking for a third option for spending meteor, another easy one would be the team super. Again, off the ground fly, you can go into a basic string like air medium, heavy, and then special. Remember, this is still technically a TAC combo, so that air special will spike opponents into a hard knockdown. Then just team super once you land on the ground. Depending on your team, it might actually be a better option than going straight into a level 3. And that's going to be every variation of Morrigan Corner TAC Infinite, as well as 3 different options for ending them. Hopefully you learned a thing or two, and as always, I'll be here to answer any questions if you might have, or respond to any comments. But for now, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.